You are now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. I think emotion is a huge part that people don't like to touch on. When you see, I don't know if you've done this, and I'm just going to say it out there, just hoping you'll agree with me. And you don't have to, by the way. And anyone listening is going to think I'm crazy, but I struggle now to see people on stage who haven't been trained properly.
Yep.
Right. And I don't mean this from an arrogant perspective. I don't mean like I'm a better speaker, but I'm an emotional speaker. And I can't fake the tears. Like if I cry on stage or like I can well up, it's genuine.
Yep.
And I see people on stage where they fake it or they're like, yeah, click the fingers, and you see them tell the story over and over and over. And the same bit, it's the tears come on, or worse, nothing. And they're just surface level. And I really struggle. And honestly, I've been there recently. I won't say who, but I've been there and I'm like, I need to leave the room. This is killing me. How do you find that? And I don't say that from an arrogant perspective. It's just because when you teach it, you see it. How do you find that?
Honestly, it's one of the most frustrating, and also it's really hard when you know that if you're talking about the person who's like surface level, there's a story and then there's a story behind the story.
Yeah.
And when they go story level, you're like, oh, you're missing the connection with so many other people. And I think for me, when I'm talking about or teaching storytelling, I will always say, because it was the thing that I struggled with most, you're never telling your story for you. Some people on the stage are telling their story for them, or in a manipulative way or a coercive way. And that's genuinely why I almost left on day 2, because in my head, I couldn't piece the jigsaw puzzle pieces together. I was like, telling a story that feels like I'm tainting a memory or I'm telling it for the wrong reasons. And it was until I realised that you're never telling your story for you, you're telling it for the other people. Like, you're telling it for those people who are in the low that you were feeling then, and you could be a solution to their problem. So that's the action that we take. But similarly, you see people who've got amazing potential, but they won't go there, or vice versa. I can't bear the whole, I've never been trained in NLP, but the people who every movement, we talk about movement with purpose, but every movement is foretold, and it's like it seems disingenuous, and I'm like, that's not you. But if you actually let us see the real you'd open up to so many more people. So I find it really frustrating, and it's not from an arrogant perspective, because I'm by no means the finished article, but I think because we're, it's like you're bottled inside and you're like, oh no, you have no idea what you're doing one way or the other, in the manipulative way or if you just went there. So I find it really frustrating. And sometimes, you can tell people what it is that you do. And I think because of the industry and the niches that we're in, sometimes people think that I don't believe by any means I am the best at anything that I do. But I know that my mentors and having them people help me and see something in you. And it's like, sometimes our role is to hold a mirror up to someone. It's nothing to do with, I want to see you succeed. It's like, for your benefit, I want to. So I find it really cringeworthy. Yeah. I find it really frustrating. And I'm like, sometimes you just have to kind of, bite your fist and run away.
Yeah, exactly. And not be the person that gives feedback unsolicited as well. Because I've seen that, and I've had that done to me before as well. And I think for me, it's about not being that cookie cutter. Yeah. We're trained in a framework, whether you're storytelling in a book, whether you're storytelling on stage, there is a framework, right? And don't break the recipe. It works, but you want to do it your way. Yep. How did you find it? Because let's be honest, the training company you work for, or what started your public speaker journey in, has some female speakers, but majority male speakers. And as a fellow female speaker who's also spoken on the big orange background stage, how did you find it going in and being Toni Gargan, the female speaker that's bringing your version of their framework?
Well, that's a good question. It was daunting, but I also saw it as a massive opportunity. I'm like, I want to be the first of that female speaker. I want to be the first, something I've always struggled with from a young age, and now realise is actually a superpower when you hone it, is the ability to see the positive and the negative. And so instead of looking at it from the perspective, which I was initially, of, it's predominantly male, it's a male-dominated industry, blah, blah, blah. What an opportunity. So I was in my HR role. Retail is a predominantly male environment, but HR is a predominantly female environment. Yep. So in a senior team, 9 times out of 10, I was the only woman. And because I'd done that from the age of 21 as a senior manager, and I know that's something that, you've experienced, the whole, can I speak to the manager? And I'm like, it's me. And they look you up and down. They're like, no, it's like you're waiting for them to say, is your mum or dad in? Can I speak to the real manager? The one with the penis. No, I'm still the manager. So I think I saw it as a massive opportunity. Still really daunted by it. Still really scary. But I thought, what if I do it, and how many doors can I open for other females? So there was only a handful of us coming up training through the ranks at that point in time, and I saw it as a massive opportunity. So a big goal of mine was to be the first, you know, female speaker from Liverpool, because that's also another thing, you know, can I really make it as a speaker? Let's be honest, Scouse is its own language. So I often say English is my second language because Scouse is my first. Look at the opportunities that you've got. First one of this, first one of that. So I wanted to be a master trainer and I got to that. So, you know, I'm all about accountability. My vision is to be, there are only a handful of elite trainers for progressive. I want to be the first female elite trainer. I want to be recognised for what I've achieved, but also to then be like, if I've done it, you can do it too. So I see it as a massive opportunity.